million years ago, in what is now Canada, two Albertosaurus charged a herd of Pachyrhinosaurus, causing a stampede towards a flooding river. The Albertosaurus had a fast metabolism, like the birds of today. This forced it to feed frequently to replenish its energy.
Because of their lower center of gravity, dinosaurs like Pachyrhinosaurus would have been able to recover quickly from a fall. They have very powerful front and rear legs, and this makes getting back up if you fall a lot easier. As quickly as it knocked them down, it's back up on its feet again.
The Pachyrhinosaurus had legs as thick as a grown man's waist. They were also relatively dense, like the legs of an elephant, not as hollow as those of the Albertosaurus.
The thin legs of Albertosaurus are its weak spot because it wouldn't take much force to crack or even break the leg bones. But because they're relatively thin, they're a smaller target. The Pachyrhinosaurus misses the bone and only rips the skin, and this enrages the Albertosaurus, who then goes for broke.
The Cretaceous period was not as hot as the Jurassic. The temperatures were still hotter than today, but the relatively cooler climate allowed the dinosaurs to be more active. This was an advantage for the meat eaters, who expended more energy in a fight than the plant eaters. The Albertosaurus also had a cavernous stomach. It could have eaten a cow in a single meal. Its endless appetite drove it to savage butchery.
The Albertosaurus paces back and forth, pushing the herd into a tighter formation. From experience, it knows that if they're packed in too tight, then they'll lose their ability to move independently, and that's when he'll strike.
The brain of the Pachyrhinosaurus can only think of one thing at a time. They react, they do not plan. If they're focused on an attacker, they're not attuned to their environment.
One by one, the Pachyrhinosaurus are being pushed into the river as the herd moves back. Normally, these dinosaurs would be able to swim without any trouble, but now they're in panic mode, and it's every dinosaur for himself. In their struggle to get away from the Albertosaurus, they begin to drown each other.
The Pachyrhinosaurus would swim like a dog, holding its head above water and paddling with its feet. This was impossible when they were too tightly packed together. The Albertosaurus was not a good swimmer. Its small arms were useless in the water, leaving it to rely on its two powerful legs.
Even though the Albertosaurus is capable of swimming, there is no way it's going to get into a flooded river. But the side of the herd floating downstream is too much for him to ignore, so he heads off to follow the river and look for an opportunity to snatch one from the water.